Secret societies, universities are dangerous. Wow's it. Conspiracy theory much. The dumbing down Murica continues. You know, stupidity is a choice. It's a choice. It's also a choice when choosing stupidity. It's having to ignore history, having to ignore evidence, such as the evidence that came out that George Bush Jr. was part of Skull and Bones. It came out in the mainstream media back when George Bush Jr. was in office. It came out about John Kerry, too. Maybe you should look up those interviews. The same reporter asked both of them on different occasions about the secret society, and they said it's so secret we can't talk about it. Now, that was out of Yale, which has 9 others. Or maybe you should look up the school newspaper back in the 1800s when the actual the students were writing in the paper that somebody needed to help them because Skull and Bones had taken all of the men into their secret group. So, but more than that, Kennedy himself really tried to tell the American people that you too need to change. You need to stop picking stupidity. So just a little bit of what he said from one of his many speeches. And again, most people know that he talked about the dangers of secret society. So do you want to ignore the evidence of what Kennedy said? And then it was shortly after that he was murdered. But that's a conspiracy. You can't put those dots together. See, that's why Kennedy was talking about the people need to change. They need to stop picking being stupid. Our way of life is under attack. Those who make themselves our enemies are advancing around the globe. The survival of our friends is in danger, and yet no war has been declared. No borders have been crossed by marching troops. No missiles have been fired. No war ever posed a greater threat to our security. The danger has never been more clear, and its presence has never been more imminent. It requires a change in outlook, a change in tactics, a change in mission by the government, by the people, by every businessman or labor leader, and by every newspaper. For we are opposed around the world by monolithic and ruthless conspiracy that relies primarily on covert means for expanding its sphere of influence, on infiltration instead of invasion, on subversion instead of elections, on intimidation instead of free choice, on guerrillas by night instead of armies by day. It is a system which has conscripted vast human and material resources into the building of a tightly knit, highly effective machine that combines military, diplomatic, intelligence, economic, scientific, and political operations. Its preparations are concealed, not published. Its mistakes are burned, not headlined. Its dissenters are silenced, not praised. No expenditure is questioned. No rumor is printed. No secret is revealed. It conducts the Cold War, in short, with a wartime discipline no democracy would ever hope. Or wish to match. Never hope or wish to match. So did you want to ignore Kennedy? Yeah. Also, JFK, the high office of the president has been used to foment a plot to destroy the Americans' freedom, and before I leave office, I must inform the citizens of this plight. There is a plot in this country to enslave every man, woman, and child, and before I leave this high and noble office, I intend to expose this plot. The very words secrecy is repugnant in a free and open society, and we are, as people, inherently historically opposed to secret societies, secret oaths, and to secret proceedings. Did you want to ignore all of the evidence that many not just mainstream media, major media outlets have, all the stories they've done on the secret societies? Is that so the Smithsonian, National Geographic, mainstream media, many that have talked about that secret societies have been around since the beginning of time. So this is what Kennedy meant by everybody needs to change in order to protect freedom. But staying stupid is a choice. And in wanting to ignore everything Kennedy said, everything Eisenhower said, everything that's been written about secret societies, it's like only stupid people could sit back and say secret societies are a conspiracy at this point. Yeah, and this is History Channel. History or National Geographic, both have written about it. The 5 secret societies changed the world from behind closed doors. That other one must have been, it was National Geographic. This one is the History Channel. 5 secret societies that have remained shrouded in mystery. Smithsonian, 8 secret societies you might not know. The popularities of these secret clubs peaked in the 18th and 19th century. That was written about in 2016. But it's been written about throughout history. You want to ignore the Yale paper students in the 1800s? You can find that Yale paper where they said that Skull and Bones had taken over the campus. They were running the finances, they were running the campus. And now they've just, because the people themselves in America want to stay stupid and say everything's a conspiracy, because the very people that want you to believe it is are the very people that are in the secret societies. You want to do the opposite of what JFK says. JFK was saying it would, in order to preserve freedom, the people would need to change too, not just politicians. No, not just businessmen, not just labor leaders, everybody. Meaning you have to stop being stupid. That's what he was saying. We are, as a people, inherently and historically opposed to secret societies. The moment he talked about exposing secret societies, he died shortly after that. But go ahead, keep telling yourself what the very people in those secret societies want you to say. That you're somehow smart, calling me the conspiracy theorist, right? Except you want to ignore what Kennedy said, you want to ignore what Eisenhower said, you want to ignore what every media has talked about forever and pretend like there's no secret societies and I'm just making it up. See, that's choosing to be stupid. This is Eisenhower. In the councils of government, we must guard against the acquisition of unwarranted influence, whether sought or unsought, by the military-industrial complex. The potential for disastrous rise of misplaced power exists and will persist. Both these men warned, basically, that if the American people did not snap out of it, they would lose their freedoms. Yeah, but choose stupidity, because that always is a good look.